Hey man, how are you?
What's going on, man?
Dude, first of all, I gotta say, I was a fan of yours from American Horror Story because I really love that season.
Oh, wow. Thank you.
Yeah, it was cool. Now, how did you get involved with this project, and what was your reaction to the script? I mean, I got to read the script because I dug the movie, but I got to read the script.
Man, my manager sent me the script, and I had to audition for it.
Mm.
It was like pilot season, so it's like everything is like how it is, pilot season. And I remember submitting this thing. I did it on Thursday, submitted it on Friday. Friday afternoon, I get a call from my team. They're like, "Oh man, like the directors are really interested. They want to see you on Monday." But because I was like in the pilot season grind, it's not unusual to get a call back. So in my head, I'm thinking, okay, so they want me to audition in front of them. Okay, no big deal. And my team was like, no, you don't get it. They want to meet you. I'm like, okay, cool. And they're like, do you understand what's happening right now? I'm like, educate me. And they're like, hey, they really want to meet you because they're considering you for the role. I was like, oh, great. What am I supposed to say in there? And they're like, no, just be yourself. I'm like, okay, let's go. Because this is my first time. Like, I didn't, like this whole thing about somebody coming and saying, we offering you a job, like, would you consider? I'm like,
Yeah,
consider? Dude, like, you
give me the
actually
job.
give me the option? So, I'm freaking out. So it was kind of like my first time, really experiencing what it's like, to be offered a role, because I'm so used to fighting for it. Of course you fought, but it's based off of, what you do in the room. So it was a wonderful experience. And then just to meet Christopher Renz and Gerard Bush was a treat. It
What a
was
delightful guys, right? My
absolutely,
God.
man. And them being first time directors, uh, you know, this was a wonderful opportunity because I was like, you never know what you get with first timers.
Hmm.
It could be an amazing piece or it could just whittle away and just be like, that was okay. So for me to jump on this and to be given the opportunity that they gave me was a dream come true. It really was.
I can't even imagine like recreating this world and that you guys do. And I can't, I just think about the conversations that went on while you were filming. I can't even imagine that because there's so much history there. What was it like to talk with these guys and kind of get into the meat and potatoes of this guy?
Um, Gerard and Chris, they are so passionate. They are activists. They are cultural activists, and they consistently have their pulse on society. And, they have this, I think, unlike most people, they have this extra thing that they have where they kind of are able to see, just ahead of the curve of what the future looks like,
Okay.
and because of what's currently happening, I mean, the pulse of America and race relations has been the central for over 400 years, and so for them to be able to consistently highlight these plights and the cries in a very visual, enchanting way is so, for me, I love imagery and I love how people can tell a story with moving pictures and sound, and they do a great job with manipulating the mind and the conscious with imagery. So for them to be a part of this project, it tells you that they're like modern day prophets of where America is and what
Hmm.
America should do and how we need to move in a direction that will bring equality, change, and an equal footing for everybody, not just from a society, from a political to a societal thing, but just as human beings, man.
Yeah.
Just coming down to the crux of it, that this skin color shouldn't be seen. The first thing you said shouldn't be like danger. You know, like that doesn't make sense. Like, just be like, you should be able to say, like, no, Tongayi is a jerk simply because he's just a jerk, you
Basically,
know?
yes.
But you can never tell who I am if the first thing you see is a threat because of the color of my skin.
Yeah.
I could be the sweetest guy on planet Earth, but because you see me that way, you'll never know. So I think that's what they're trying to do, is just come on, just give us an opportunity to show our humanity and judge me by the content of my character. Plain and simple.
And it's all wrapped in, like, and this is something that's always interested me with horror, is it's all wrapped in to a thriller that's you know, but I feel like you can kind of get away with kind of pushing the envelope
Yeah.
when you're doing horror. Did you find that? Do you find that? Because you've done a little bit of it yourself.
Yeah. You know what's interesting about this, because, you know, working with Chris and Gerard, but then the producers of Get Out, that they're kind of like reinventing the horror in a certain way, because now they don't need the scare factor, they don't need the spooks. They're basically saying there's enough horror in the human existence that we have created for ourselves, you know, and now we need to figure out how we're going to wiggle out of this, you know. So for me, that's like, whoa, that's genius, because we are the horror. Yeah. We are the escape artists. We are the people that make or find the solutions to the horror that we have created, you know. And for me, that is just like, this is the way it should be going. You know, I've put in place systems that suppress another person, and how those situations, when I want to be the free man that I want to be, but because situations and systems don't allow me to do that, how then do I overcome and navigate that, so that you get to the point where you actually see me as a human being? And so I think with this film, you know, it fits so perfectly into this new narrative that we're facing, that the systems are horrific, you know, and the dynamics of how you overcome that is the human desire to be seen and to be free and to be one that's wholesome in the full spectrum of living as a human being on this earth.
Yeah, I love that too. I love that you come from this into this character with this knowledge and history. Did you go and read, or did you just kind of, was the script your guide? Like historical, you know, did you read the history of it, or was that worth your time?
Absolutely. I needed to, because I could not sell myself short and just do a caricature of real life human beings that experience horrific atrocities for generations. So as a Zimbabwean coming into the American spectrum, I needed to learn about the American history broadly, and I needed to understand the African American experience, you know. So I went far back as listening to, you know, audio tapes of Booker T. Washington. I read up on the slave trade, you know, just, you know, how it operated and how it worked. Man, we were cattle. Like, it's goats. You might as well just put like goat skin on us and just, you know, herd us into plantations. But understanding that, it helped me to have psychologically to get into the mindset. But it wasn't until I got onto the plantation itself that the real life experience of seeing the cabins, working in the fields that people toiled for hours on end for, you know, the entire lives. I was there for 2 months, but I could barely contain myself after an hour. I was like, I need a break. Give me water. Like, the privileges that we had. But it was more cathartic, and it became a rite of passage for me, because it became more than just a film, that I had to represent the ancestors and the forefathers that came before me, and not disrespect the sacred land that they toiled and died on against their will, you know. So it was deep. It was
Well,
it was
dude,
deep.
Yeah. I mean, you did a marvelous job. I'm a fan. We got to wrap it up, but it was an absolute pleasure talking to you, man.
Absolutely, man. Like, we should do this again sometime.
I'm in. Let's make that happen, my friend.
What are we doing? What is the plan? We go tonight.
911, what is your emergency?